right. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District Board meeting of Wednesday, April 22nd. It is 5:30 p.m. And the board did meet for a closed session. We have nothing to report. So with that, let's call the meeting to order by starting with a Pledge of Allegiance. May I ask this young student with a vest on, I'm guessing you're from Glenshire, will you start us off? Yeah? Sorry to surprise you, but you know, leadership just happens.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for doing that. All right. So President Driller is with us. She is right there online this evening. She was also in closed session. We need to approve the agenda for this evening.
And there was just one change to the agenda. 11.1 is actually an informational, no action needed.
Okay, thank you. So can we get a motion to approve the agenda for this evening, please?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right,
Aye.
thank you. Who was the, oh, sorry. Hi. Okay, if there's anyone here that has public comment for items not on the agenda, this is your chance. Anybody here with a comment for something not on the agenda? Okay. We're going to move along then with the school showcase.
Yes, and it's my absolute pleasure to invite up Principal Rachel Cuddle from Glenshire and her team for the showcase. Welcome, you guys.
Well, hello, and members of the board, executive cabinet, and Kirsten. My name is Rachel Cuddle, and I have the best honor in the world to be the principal at Glenshire Elementary School. It is a place I love, and I love all the people in it. And I'm thrilled tonight to share with you a glimpse of what makes our school so special. Our theme this year is the greatest of all time. We're doing rock stars. And it's more than just a theme. It's something that we live into each and every day through our commitment to excellence, connection, and a joy of learning. I start this every year. You're gonna know these by heart soon. But at Glenshire Elementary, we have 6 values that lead everything we do. And it's grounded in these core values of kindness, achievement, integrity, safety, positivity, and community. 4 years ago, we came together as a school community to identify these values, and since then, we've continued to refine those. We defined what it meant to achieve excellence, and now this year, we're actually taking time with our staff to evaluate how well we are living in those values. Kirsten just recently visited our school for PSAC, and that was my question to her was, do you feel it when you walk in the door? When you walk through the doors and you interact with our students or in our classrooms, do you feel these 6 values? And she said she felt very welcomed and felt the kindness and the positivity. So when you come board, that'll be my question to you as well, is how did you feel it and what examples do you have? But this year, part of what makes us the greatest of all time is all means all. Our staff is so aligned, and I use this silly metaphor, but we envision ourselves as a herd of buffalo. And if all of the buffalo are going generally in the same direction at almost the same speed, we know we're getting to where we need to be. We are aligned in our social emotional learning, our literacy, and with Eureka Math. And the through line that connects all 3 of those areas are those high expectations we have for every single dingle student, paired with just right support, not too much, not too little. And we do academic discourse in every class from TK through 5th grade, PE, counseling. Anywhere you go, you will hear academic discourse. There are no isolated classrooms. There are no isolated programs. One school, one vision, one team. And so I can't do a presentation without looking at a little bright data here. This is our data from the past 3 years, our CASP scores, and I know it's really tiny, so if you would like me to give you a copy, I can. But our 25-26 goals this year are to grow this year on the CASP by another 5%. This is unheard of in California, but we are hoping to have 82% of our students meeting or exceeding standard on the CASP ELA and 79% meeting or exceeding standard for math. And I wrote on there that we've recovered from COVID because Mr. Bohagan and I love data. We eat data for breakfast. We did a deep dive on a snow day to see what our data has looked like over the past 10 years. And last year's scores of 77% and 74% exceeded the highest scores we had ever had at Glenshire Elementary. So we said we've recovered from COVID, but we have not yet arrived. We would like to be the 100% school. So we continue to work and grow. And that alignment is a direct reflection of that commitment to learning and growing. So I'm going to bring up Mr. Mohagan to speak about social emotional learning, and then our other guest speakers about how and what that looks like here at Glenshire Elementary.
All right, so as Ms. Cuddle mentioned, we're trying to be fully aligned in all the things that we're doing, and one of those areas is social emotional learning. And we believe that students perform best and are at their best when they feel safe, connected, and valued at school. And so we really wanted to emphasize our social emotional learning strategies this year. And so some of the things we implemented are school-wide assemblies where we highlight character traits. Our second step lessons are taught in every single classroom, and every single teacher has taught every lesson or will have taught by the end of the year. We celebrate with Eagle tickets and have Eagle raffles every Monday. Our families receive photos of their students if they've won the Eagle ticket raffle. We do class meetings and circles each morning to make sure students feel cared for and safe. And then we've implemented a peacemaker program that Ms. Falk will talk about and one of our students will speak to as well. And just quickly on the assemblies, that's something we started this year. And so I present to the whole school for about 10 minutes once a month, highlighting a character trait. For example, one of them is responsibility. And so, of course, I had to bring in Spider-Man because with great power comes great responsibility. And so we teach kids that, you know, if you have the ability to do something, you should do it, right? And so that type of thing, and each month is a different trait that aligns with the district traits as well that we determined this year for social emotional learning. So up next, Ms. Falk is going to talk about some of the things she does with social emotional learning, and then we have two students, Maggie and Cole, that are going to highlight things that they do at school as well.
Good evening. At Glenshire Elementary, we are committed to using a common social emotional learning language that all students can understand and apply. In our mindfulness lessons, we introduce the guard dog, the amygdala, which reminds us that it barks when we are in danger or having a strong emotion. The wise owl, our prefrontal cortex, which helps us make wise choices. The elephant, our hippocampus, which holds all of our memories, and the sifting sooty, our RAS, which helps us pay attention and focus. These animals guide students in staying grounded and present. Alongside mindfulness, we use restorative circles, structured gatherings where students come together to share their feelings and repair harm in a supportive way. The students say how they are feeling and how they would like to move forward in a positive way. These circles help students understand each other, take responsibility, and rebuild trust. Additionally, we teach the Nurtured Heart Reset that helps all students take a quick brain break and then get right back to learning. Students can be asked to reset anywhere in the school, and they drop their head, they take 2 belly breaths, and they think about their job. Then they are welcomed back to rejoin in their class activity. In addition, we implement second step lessons, which directly teach the 5 CASEL competencies: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. These lessons give students a clear and common framework for understanding their emotions and interactions. Every single teacher at Glenshire facilitates these lessons weekly, which also supports a common language and way of doing things. And out on the playground, our peacemakers, students in grades 3 through 5, are trained to help solve peer-to-peer conflicts, guiding their classmates towards respectful communication and problem solving. Altogether, these practices, mindfulness, restorative circles, resets, second step, and peacemakers, create a safe, empathetic environment where every student can thrive academically and socially emotionally.
Hi, my name is Maggie and I'm a 5th grader at Glenshire Elementary. One of my favorite things I get to do is be a peacemaker. I get to wear a bright yellow vest and go outside with my friends once a week to help other students. If someone is having a problem, we help them solve it by bringing them to the peace path. The peace path is painted on the pavement and students stand on the feet and read the words as they move along. It helps them calm down, talk it out, and solve the problem together. Being a peacemaker is really special, but sometimes I notice that there actually aren't that many problems to solve. When I'm on duty, I see yard duties already helping students and kids using what they've learned to figure out the problems on their own. That makes me really proud of our school because it shows that Glenshire is kind, safe, respectful, and responsible. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cole Lassard, and I'm a 5th grader at Glenshire Elementary. One thing I really like about Second Step is that it has helped me include others. In the past, I would sometimes get really angry on the playground, and I didn't always handle solutions in a healthy way. But through Second Step and SEL skills we've learned, I've gotten better at working through my feelings, and I don't get as angry anymore, and my friendships are stronger. Now we have more fun together on the playground. I also have a little brother in kindergarten, and like most brothers, we sometimes argue at home. But because we both learn Second Step at school, it actually helps us solve our problems. We're better at understanding each other's feelings and calming down. Second Step has helped me not just at school, but in my life, and I'm really grateful for it. Thank you.
And what they didn't say, but what is on the screen, is you can see a second step lesson happening in kindergarten, and that is academic discourse happening in that second step lesson. We do the 10 to 2 academic discourse, where the teacher talks for an average of 10 minutes and the students talk for 2 minutes at least in every lesson. You can see them doing it math, SEL, English language arts, PE. It's happening everywhere. Well, you know that literacy is one of my favorite things, and it is one of our deepest commitments at Glenshire. And I am so, so, so proud of my staff because yet again this year, every single classroom teacher has been trained fully in the science of reading with letters. I had 4 brand new teachers who gave up their first 4 days of summer vacation to stay with me and get the full course, 8 hours a day, with me before they went off and enjoyed summer. And I am thrilled to see it happening in their classrooms. Our teachers, they identified our agreements for what we would see in every single classroom, and they are holding to those instructional practices, and we're seeing that growth across all grade levels. Again, I couldn't do a presentation without data, and this is our current data as of right now this year. And you can see this is our DIBELS data. You know what DIBELS is by now. I think you've heard about it in other meetings, but it is a quick assessment for students' literacy skills. And this year, we are higher in our percentage of 3rd through 5th grade students meeting or exceeding standard on DIBELS than we were at this time last year, which is encouraging. And then I did our growth data. Holy moly, 50% of our whole school, kinder through 5th grade, 50% had above average growth in their literacy skills, and then another more than a quarter had average growth. Then we had 14% with below average growth and 10% in the well below. Well, Mr. Mohagan and I love looking at data. We looked into it, and the reason the students had below or well below is because they were already reading 170 words per minute, and you can't get much faster than that. So when you're not reading faster and faster each time, it says you're not growing at those high rates. So we looked at every single individual student, and we are not worried about those. They are reading quite quickly. We also, at Glenshire, our teachers asked to continue with STAR and AR this year as we learn to administer iReady and interpret that data, because STAR is something we really knew. So we kept with that. And again, our scores this year, our percentage, just like the Dibbles, is higher at this time than it was last year at this time. And on this one, 2/3 of our students have high growth or typical growth on the STAR. And then again, that low growth, when we did a deep dive, it turns out the students who have low growth were reading 2 to 3 to 4 grade levels above grade level. And so if you're reading at a 10th grade level as a 5th grader, you might not go up, you might go down a little bit and then go up. And we see that over the years, and Mr. Mohagan and I continue to not be worried about those students. And you can rest assured, we look at each one individually. So this year, we added something new to increase our literacy based off of the feedback from our site leadership team and our school site council. Parents asked for support in motivating their children to read more at home, and our teachers saw how powerful the Million Word Club has been in inspiring our students. So we expanded our approach to celebrate all reading growth along the way, not just the 1 million word milestone. Now we have a school-wide love of independent reading using our AR program to track the progress through points. Mr. Mohagan has put the face of every student in our school on a little eagle body, and they float down the wall. I can't wait to show you when you come visit. And then each month, Mr. Mohagan has our entire school come for the assembly, and we celebrate those reading celebrations. And as of right now, over 70% of our 2nd through 5th graders have at least 10 AR points. We actually have 3 in the 500 point club, and we're pushing 50 students in the Million Word Club. It is a deal at our school. Even the teachers are participating. So I'm going to have Miss O'Hanlon, Colleen, who's a parent and a staff member, and her son Brogan come up to talk about the power of the love of independent reading at Glenshire Elementary. Come on up.
Hello, I'm Colleen, both a proud Glenshire staff member and an even prouder mom. Where is he? To Brogan. This has been such a special year for us because Brogan has truly become a reader. At home, he's picking up books on his own, and we spent so many nights reading side by side. We set a goal together to reach the Million Word Club, and we read independently and together religiously to make it happen. And seeing both of our pictures up on the wall has meant so much to us. The reading celebrations have been such a powerful motivator. Brogan loves tracking his progress and moving his eagle across the wall. It gave him something tangible to work toward and to be proud of. In my role at school, helping manage the Eagles and the reading prizes, I get to see the same excitement in so many of our students every single day. What's most incredible is watching that spark grow not just at school, but right in our own home. Reading has become part of who Brogan is now, and that is something we will always be grateful for. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brogan, and my favorite part about the reading celebrations is the prizes. They're really cool. But honestly, I love the bragging rights even more. It's so awesome to say I'm in the Million Word Club and see my picture up on the wall next to my mom's. The celebrations have definitely made me want to read more. I like moving my eagle and reaching new goals. Right now, I'm on book 6 of Harry Potter, and I don't want to stop. I also can't wait to get the biggest reading prize, a 3D printed dragon in an egg. Only a few kids have it so far. I really want it to. Reading is actually really fun now. I am super proud of how much I've read this year. Thank you.
All right. And finally, math. all means all in math too. At Glenshire, our staff are fully committed to our Eureka Math District agreements. We work collaboratively to teach the program with fidelity, analyzing student work and data together, and continually strengthening that academic discourse in math. I use a walkthrough tool to find trends across the school, and we use it to celebrate the staff and the work that we are all doing together. And then it also helps me identify opportunities of where I can further push our staff as we get to that 100% school. Like when we notice that we could do a better job of intentionally incorporating the language of notice and wonder. So when you visit and we see a math classroom, we'll be looking for notice and wonder. My staff is incredible, so I make sure to dedicate planning time for them so that they can design the lessons they want to that are thoughtful, rigorous, and student-centered. So now I'm going to have Becky Wright come up along with KJ LaChance to talk to you a little bit about math at Glenshire.
Hi everyone. I am Becky Wright, and I am lucky enough to be a fourth grade teacher at Glenshire Elementary. And have been around all these great kids. I'm also a proud mom of a rambunctious first grader. And as a teacher, one of the most amazing things about our school is how aligned we are from between grade levels as we deliver the Eureka Math program. We use common strategies from kindergarten all the way through 5th grade. And we are able to spend less time explaining our directions and more time actually diving into the math and supporting that love of math in our classroom. It gives the kids consistency, routine, and it deepens their true understanding of math and a true love of math. Our students aren't just memorizing those strategies, they're actually building on familiar concepts each year. And the thinking begins in kindergarten. It's strengthened and deepened all the way through 5th grade. And you can really see that confidence grow every single year in your classroom. We also use our math time to prioritize academic discourse and go over strategies together with the aim of that 10-to-2 student talk ratio, and I feel that we all exceed that. That means that our students are talking, reasoning, explaining, and they're the ones doing the heavy lifting. These high-level conversations deepen their understanding, help them love math and connect with each other, and they connect concepts a lot quicker. And they can remember the concepts they connect after those discussions. As a staff, we are very intentional. We take dedicated time throughout the entire week to plan and make sure our practices are aligned and make sure that we're all doing those same practices together through each grade level. We have those critical conversations with our teammates in between grade levels, and it allows us to share our strengths and look at the data together and decide what changes we need to make and what's going well. And then as a mom, I get to see this come full circle. My first grader comes home, and he is talking the strategies that I'm teaching my fourth graders, so that's pretty powerful, and it really helps me understand we're doing the same thing in every grade level, and to see that as a mom makes me feel so great. My son loves math. He loves the teachers he's had who have taught him math, and he truly loves it, and I hear that connection every single night. And he looks forward to doing homework, and he doesn't even have to yet, so that's pretty great. So. All right. Thank you.
Hi, my name is KJ, and I'm a 5th grader at Glenshire Elementary. I like math because it's challenging, and I really like challenges. It feels really good when I get the right answer, especially because there isn't just one way to solve a problem. I like that I can pick the method that makes the most sense to me. In Eureka Math, we learn a lot of different strategies, even ones we learned in younger grades, and we use them to solve harder problems now. We also do a lot of talking about our thinking. We have ABCD on our desk, and we go around the room and we move to different spots and around the room, and we go to different spots to share our answers. We explain how we got them, ask questions, and sometimes say what we heard someone else say. When we're learning something new, Miss Fergus checks how we're doing, and we try to do it on our own. And it actually feels kind of easy. Math at Glenshire makes me feel like I can figure things out, and that's pretty awesome. Thank you.
So you can see alignment is a really big deal. I feel like, oh, my herd, my buffalo herd, we're going the right way. We are aligned in SEL. We have completed second step. Every single teacher has completed it now, all 20 lessons. We're doing the literacy together, we're doing the math together. Combined with that commitment to academic discourse, that high expectations and high support, it's creating a school where students feel safe, challenged, and joyful. And that's what makes our Eagles the greatest of all time. Thank you so much for letting us come to present.
Thank you. Let me open it up to see if there's comments or questions. Is President Driller still with us on the screen?
Yes,
Pardon?
I mean, I'm there on my
Yeah.
screen.
Okay, we thought you'd go first.
Hey, Rachel, that was awesome. Thank you. Great to hear all those great achievements, but pretty funny when you actually look at the data that they were reading above. So that's pretty good. No, really lovely. I wish I was there. I did love the dancing. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I got to see dancing, and the whoever was in the outfit first up with the buddy on the playground was dancing on my screen. But anyway, I'm really, really happy to see it. Thank you. I look forward to coming by and visiting.
Wonderful.
Great, thank you. Should we start over there?
Thank you. That was a great presentation, first of all. But I want to thank, let's see, the kids, Maggie, Cole, Brogan, and Leisha, was it? I didn't.
KJ.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And for your great comments and sharing your experiences with us that you're having at your school. And you had some great comments. I appreciate it. Thank you for those. And Rachel Falk, thank you for sharing the variety of ways that students have at your school for managing their day-to-day and the things that occur. And just the idea of being able to put your head down and just check out for a minute. I love that. I think I bet that's a great strategy for so many kids. I thank the parents / staff members for sharing their experiences as well. It seems very exciting. And Rachel Cuddle, your enthusiasm for education has not changed since you were in my 10th grade honors English class.
My favorite class.
Why, thank you. And it really hasn't. You're enthusiastic about it then, and I can see that it has carried you through your career here at Tahoe Truckee Unified School District. It is so great to see, I'm not a big data person, but I love seeing those numbers moving in the right direction. And your explanation about the students that didn't show growth, I thought really helped clarify those numbers, so thank you for that explanation. And bringing your buffalo herd together as a team and moving all with a shared vision and shared purpose, I think makes your school moving in a really powerful direction. So congratulations, kiddo. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I think we say every time when we have students come to do presentations, it's a favorite part of our board meetings because we get to interact and kind of understand what their day-to-day experience is. So always appreciated when you're willing to come up and speak in front of all of us adults. Everyone did awesome. I think what's interesting too, when we look at the values that you had on the screen and, can you feel it? It goes beyond the walls of Glenshire that when I think of community, Glenshire really does exude that, like I said, just throughout sort of our region as an example. And I was making notes of the different things I heard, like the peace path, which I was like, wow, us adults really should get on that too. So, but part of that is sort of this lead by example that you set, where you're empowering the students, from very little all the way through fifth grade to sort of take that responsibility on themselves. So they're every day learning these new skills, these new tools, and then they're working with each other to kind of demonstrate that. So, it's the KJ, I can figure things out on my own. Like, that's a great skill because you will take that with you forever. So I really feel like when I think of community, I think of Glenshire for sure. And you guys do an awesome job.
Thank you.
I just can't get over how beautiful the art is in this room right now. I mean, I just love children's art, especially, the colors of spring and all of the These guys are hysterical.
Okay.
So cute. So I'm a little bit distracted because this art style is definitely one of my favorites. And then also, just to sort of piggyback on what everybody else is noticing, is the sort of, you're kind of reconstructing the narrative of so many things post-COVID, right? I love the fact that you decided to sort of contextualize your progress as having had recovered from COVID, and not just only recovered, but gone beyond. And that's just incredibly inspiring, especially around reading and math. In particular, I think reading, just because of the fact that that skill, there was like this fear for a while floating around that children would lose the passion for reading, and that the technology and the Chromebooks and the iPads and all of the tech was creating a different type of brain that wasn't going to be able to appreciate the art of reading. So you've demystified that myth. Thank you. And the little moving eagles, clearly, is a great incentive. I would be super pumped with that type of thing if I was in like 4th or 5th grade, because you really want to see visually your progress. And when you can see it, then it's meaningful instead of just a number or a grade, right? So I love that creativity around that. That's wonderful. And then I think just in closing, also the owl, remind me again, okay. Yeah, the wise owl, the guard, that's just brilliant, because you're putting all of those complex, psychological terminology. I've been needing to do that for so long, and I've been trying so hard, and we've tried so many creative things, but creating little animals around each part of the brain so kids can understand the segmentation of the brain, and that it's different for all of us, and sometimes they're not all playing well on the kindergarten playground together. There's like, one will be over here and one's over here, and that's a sophisticated way to be able to have the children really understand it and really internalize it and have it become useful, so then you can actually use the language during the moment and be able to identify what's going on. Is this the little owl, or is this the guard dog, or is this the hippo?
Wise elephant.
Because elephants never forget.
Oh, all right. I was like, man, okay. I always call it the hippo, but okay, elephant.
Yeah, because then they remember that. It's like that's their memory.
That's the memory storage. Yeah, okay.
Is their rat back there.
Can't wait to come and visit y'all. I think it's next week. Right. Wonderful presentation. Thank you. And thank you for the student speakers also demonstrating such courage and bravery to come up and speak at the podium. You're on your way. You'll never stop now, right? Thanks again.
I agree with everything that's been said. Great presentation. I have a couple questions.
I love it.
Okay. Did we see a graph for your math numbers?
No. Oh, I did not put my math numbers on there. Did I?
I don't think
Oh,
so.
there was at the very beginning.
Oh, those were the math ones, the very first one?
Yes, I had
Okay.
English language arts.
Oh, yeah,
and,
because
and
social
math
emotional.
cast.
Yes. Yes, okay,
Yes.
gotcha. Okay, thank you.
I did not put up iReady because, like I said, I like to be an expert when I show you, and I'm not yet
That's okay.
an expert in iReady.
That's okay.
The power of yet.
The power of yet, I like that. Okay, and then, do you have a way to assess, I'm sure you do, how do you assess comprehension versus amount of words or books, or how do you assess comprehension?
They have to pass an AR test
So
to
that's
get the
still
points. So
that's still the way.
we chose, our staff asked for a star in AR, and so partnering with PTO and with my budget, we were able to provide that again this year. And the AR test, they have to pass at 80%. So 8 out of 10 questions correct, unless it's a Harry Potter book, which is 16 out of 20 questions on those big ones. But that's how we make sure that they understood it, so they don't get the points if they don't pass the AR test. And they don't get those words counted for them if they don't pass the AR test. Teachers, we don't get the option of taking AR tests. We would all love to. So we have a special form that we fill out, and we use either ChatGPT or Gemini to tell us how many words have been in the book, and then we trust each other that we understood it.
The honor system.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, thank you. And then I think just my last comment is really for the students, and that is thank you for sharing. And what you did, a lot of adults can't do what you just did without breaking a sweat. So good job, because public speaking, you know, is a great skill to have, and so you did amazing. And then I was talking with Superintendent Kramer before your presentation because I knew we were going to get a lot of reading because Glenshire is the school of readers. And I just want to say that you know, what I would tell my daughter when she was in elementary school is readers are leaders, and that's something that's going to be with you always at school, at home, in your circle of friends. So I love that you love to read and that your school celebrates that. So thank you for coming and sharing. Does anybody else have anything?
Actually, your comment about the reading sort of brought back
Sure, go ahead.
something that I was thinking about. The methodology for the readers and the triangle of kids that were showing low or less than right?
Less than average growth? Yes.
Yeah, they ended up being actually the opposite. So, you know, it just begs the question, the metric, if it's not capturing that particular, right, then perhaps we need to look at a way to be able to give credit where credit is due. If those readers are actually not showing up on the data set because they're overperforming, then that's upon us to be able to figure out a way to create a way to capture that data set, because that's an incredible actually piece of information. And if it's not being reflected in the dibbles.
Yeah, the dibbles or the star on both. If that was looking at their growth, yeah.
Right. So that's a scientific question. You know, that's like, okay, if we're not really measuring that group of students, then we need to really figure out a better way to measure.
Yep,
Right?
exactly. Yeah, I like that it gets us to ask those questions, because we wouldn't have even looked at that data if we didn't see, wait a second, we're not having this growth.
Right.
So asking those questions to dig in more, I love that.
Yeah, so let's continue trying to provide support for you, and apparently across all of our campuses, if that's actually a theme. Thank you for coming up upon that quagmire, because now we can actually further investigate what are we missing? And are we also missing it in other areas, you know, like,
Yes.
right? Thank you, that's all.
Thank you, everybody, for coming from Glenshire.
Thank you.
You are welcome to stay or you are welcome to go. It's up to you. You go.
Yeah.
Okay, so as Glenshire is exiting, the next item on our agenda is 2 resolutions.
And for both of these items, we're going to turn to our Assistant Superintendent, Chief Business Officer, Mr. Todd Rivera, to start off with our school lunch heroes. Mr. Rivera?
Thank you, Superintendent Kramer, President Droller, members of the board. So tonight, we're asking that you approve Resolution Number 23, 2025-26, designating May 1st, 2026 as our School Lunch Hero Day. This resolution really recognizes and honors our amazing food services team. This includes our chefs, food service workers at our school sites, but also extends to our support staff and leadership staff as well. And I'd like to just read from the staff report, because I think it summarizes really nicely what our food services staff does, but also how we feel about them. Amidst the art of crafting delectable dishes, maintaining stringent nutritional guidelines, accommodating student food allergies, and serving with unwavering positivity, the dedicated food service professionals of the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District tackle a myriad of responsibilities. In honor of their tireless efforts and unwavering dedication, TTUSD proudly declares May 1st, 2026 as School Lunch Hero Day. This day serves as a poignant reminder to express gratitude and admiration for TTUSD chefs who diligently prepare fresh, scratch-made meals daily for over 4,100 students. With a team of 30 food service professionals, including chefs stationed at each school, and our diligent warehouse staff, TTUSD ensures that every child receives a wholesome, balanced meal for breakfast and lunch. And we are very proud of our food services team. Thank you.
I also want to give a shout out because this year the food services department team has had so much positive public relations that has been shone upon you because of your hard work and your smarts, because what you're doing takes a lot to do. Not all school districts, in my opinion, can rally like you rally, even in emergencies, right? Not just daily, but out of the box when needed all the time. So thank you for that. And could we have the team, are they coming forward right now?
Ms. Cat, oh, she's shaking her head. Do you guys mind just standing and we'll give you a round of
Yes,
applause, please? Okay.
Say again?
You know, I just want to add that I got up this morning and made my son what I thought was a fairly elegant lunch, which he left because he didn't need it. He said he didn't want
Eat
it.
at school.
I had it.
Yeah.
So you're making my job easier. Thank you.
Okay. Did you say something? Yes. Okay, so with that, we need to approve this resolution for the School Lunch Hero Day.
I will make a motion to approve Resolution 23, 2025-26, School Lunch Hero Day, May 1st. Woohoo.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Yay, okay, thank you very much. Okay, and the second resolution, Superintendent?
Mr. Rivera?
Thank you. So we bring to you to approve Resolution Number 24, 2025-2026, recognizing April 28th, 2026 as School Bus Drivers Day. And this resolution celebrates and recognizes our awesome team of bus drivers, vehicle service workers, mechanics, instructors, dispatchers, and support staff. And as I've said before, the bus drivers are often the first and last school official our students see during the school day. They really set the tone for the school day for all of our students, or a majority of our students. Almost 3/4 of our students ride the bus every day. Not only are they responsible for safely transporting students to and from school, and also for athletics and field trips, but they are also classroom managers. And imagine managing a bus of up to 75 different grade level students on a daily basis on each route. So they do an amazing job. We're very proud of our transportation team as well. Thank you.
So I don't believe anyone from transportation is here tonight, is that correct?
That's correct. They get up very, very early. So
Yes.
we'll go to them on the 28th and celebrate with them
Yeah.
at their bus barn.
And again, kudos to them for the relationship building that they do on the bus, and I know this as a former parent, and for driving over the Summit Donner Trail all the way to summer traffic in West Shore, all over. So just thank you to them, and this is also a resolution that we need to approve. Is there a motion?
I will move to approve Resolution Number 24, 2025-2026, School Bus Drivers Day, April 28th, 2026.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Great, thank you, everybody. All right, next on the agenda, facilities.
Yes, we're very excited and looking forward to this, and Mr. Rivera will introduce our team.
Thank you. So we're very pleased tonight to share with you our update on the progress we've made in the district's sustainability efforts. Particularly with this presentation, we're going to highlight our recent greenhouse gas inventory as well as our energy conservation guidelines, which are two very important milestones for our sustainability program. And I'd like to introduce our Energy Conservation and Sustainability Manager, Erica Martins, and then also our Director of Facilities Maintenance and Operations, Anna Klostad. Thank you.
All right, good evening. Thank you so much, and happy Earth Day. Very appropriate timing. It's my holiday, so thank you for celebrating with me. This is our first greenhouse gas inventory, and we're also going to update you on our conservation guidelines. I just took a little bit of inspiration from the Artemis II crew that went, in my lifetime, it was the first moon mission, so I'm reminded that we have this one special planet that is ours as our home, but also to care for. So just a little inspiration on this Earth Day. I'm going to go over a little background of how we got here, our GHG inventory, the updated conservation guidelines, and then kind of the next steps. So all of this will have the programs that we're and projects that we're currently working on tied in as well. So T2SD has 13 beliefs that are adopted, and belief number 7 really speaks to our long-standing history of environmental actions and dedication. And it's that the Lake Tahoe region is precious and we value our physical environment and integrate this element into our educational goals. But we're not doing this work just because it's part of our ethos and it feels good to be green. There's also many state mandates that are really driving this work. On the screen, sorry it's a bit small, but this is just a small smattering of the state bills and assembly bills that are really driving our efforts because we are trying to keep up with the requirements in the state of California. I wanted to acknowledge David, who's here from Sierra Business Council tonight. We hired Sierra Business Council to help us with our GHG inventory. And again, these are just some of the examples. We're in good company with many other regional public agencies who have also conducted their GHG inventories with SBC's help. And again, yes, David is here if you have inventory. So thank you, David. All right, so this is a refresh of why we conducted a GHG inventory or greenhouse gas inventory. And that is really to set a baseline to track our emissions, kind of see our progress over time. This was our first inventory, so the way it works is we look at the emissions from an entire calendar year. We selected the 2024 calendar year and looks at all of our district sources. I'll get into the specifics in the next slide. But really, this helps us set the baseline. So year after year or every several years, we could repeat this exercise and compare ourselves to our previous emissions. This also really helps us to identify strategies of how we can reduce our emissions and be informed of the best ways to do so. We will be bringing forward a sustainability action plan later this year. Again, we've been developing that with the help of SBC and their expertise, and that will really indicate ways to address strategies and specific measures to reduce our emissions. So that will, again, be informed by state mandates and be kind of a menu of choices of how we can reduce our emissions as a district. And also, as a reminder, we've got many familiar faces in here from the Tahoe Youth Action Team and Citizens Climate Lobby, who you've seen many, many times before you. And we previously told them that this would be the baseline before we adopt formal goals. So just as a reminder, this is a great time to provide that feedback to us as staff if we wanted to adopt specific goals to incorporate into the Sustainability Action Plan. All right, so getting into how those the inventory was analyzed, we looked at this full set of data points, mostly from our utilities, but looking at our building and facilities, water and wastewater, our solid waste, so that's also recycling and organics, and then our vehicle fleet and equipment, so heavy snow removal equipment, as well as our employee commutes. So the way that was incorporated was by conducting an employee commute survey, and that was conducted via employee newsletter and attending many, many staff meetings. So thanks to all the principals for letting me crash your staff meetings and that precious time. All right, these are our high-level summary findings. And what you can see on the right is just the graphic image of the pie chart. On the left is a breakdown of those emissions. So you can see by and large our facilities is the largest contributor with 62%. That's followed by the employee commute actually at 19%, our vehicle fleet emissions made up 16%, and then solid waste and wastewater contributing 2% to our overall emissions. So from this, we can really hone in and identify the opportunities to reduce our emissions and really focus in on, okay, our facilities is making up the majority of that. So putting our resources towards reducing our facilities through programs, policies, and projects. And so that will kind of tie into what I'm talking about next. But to put it into context, 4,647 metric tons of CO2 equivalent, that's sort of nebulous, right? It is about the equivalent of 1,000 homes' electricity for an entire year, or one car traveling almost 12 million miles. So the emissions from one car traveling that many miles is pretty significant. And to further break it down, it would take 77,000 tree seedlings to grow for 10 years to sequester that amount of CO2 equivalent in just the 1 year of our emissions as a district. So really, again, just planting the seed that these emissions really do have real life impacts. Another interesting bit is just, this is not to call out any one site, but just to look at the breakdown by site. So these are the emissions that you can see. Of course, our two high schools are both the largest emitters, but also the largest sites. So that makes a lot of sense, but also just highlights that those are providing the highest opportunities for us in terms of where to focus our programs for reductions. All right, I'm going to kind of switch gears now and talk about our Building Energy Advisory Committee and our updated conservation guidelines. And this really just kind of illustrates how we move from looking at taking that data and implementing it into policy and programs. So again, our largest contributor from the GHG inventory is our facilities, making up 62%. So we thought, hey, let's take a look at what's going on in our facilities, in the buildings. And you can see the majority, almost 60% of our facilities related emissions is coming from natural gas combustion, then about 40% from electricity and a small amount from propane. We also know that, again, it's great to be sustainable, but there's also bigger impacts of our utilities, and that's real dollars. And so saving energy is also saving money that can be better utilized for our students and our staff. And last year we spent $2 million on utilities alone, and that number is just growing over time because of highly fast increasing rates. So we're really vulnerable to the rates, which is another reason that we really wanted to take a look at how we're utilizing electricity and gas in our buildings. Oops. I really want to, it's hard to see because we have so many amazing members, but we had an advisory committee made up of students, teachers, site staff and administrators, and facilities and maintenance staff. So thank you so much. Una is in the room, so a special call out for Una from Truckee High School, and especially thank you for those students again, because I certainly was not participating in these type of committees when I was a teenager. I think it's truly remarkable that we have such engaged youth and students from our school district.
And the list of representatives is in the study, so you can always see that.
Yeah, thanks. All right, so the process in which we went through holding our Building Energy Advisory Committee was meeting monthly from October of last year through this spring. We met 6 times and really had a very collaborative process, diving into topics like the heating and cooling, the temperature ranges, lighting schedules, and also the outreach and education needs. That was a huge part of what rose out from that committee, because we found there were a lot of gaps in our staff training and kind of understanding of how our buildings function.
Like the fact that we have thermostats that work.
Yes. All right, so some of the key guideline updates. The guidelines were initially drafted in 2009, so it had been some time since we had updated them. But the key things that we updated were the heating and cooling seasons were established. We had shortened the timing for the start end so that we are not warming up buildings so early ahead and not too late, so that we could be more efficient with that. Reporting of work orders. We can't fix what we don't know is broken. And so really trying to train our staff and administrators to make sure that they are letting us know if they see something. And then again, that staff outreach and training. We have started to attend staff meetings. Thank you to Pat McKechnie for going on the Sustainability Roadshow with me to our staff meetings. And then student videos and training guides. And Anna actually has some here to pass out for you.
Thank you.
So these guidelines are really for every single staff. Again, here's another nerdy Artemis picture, but it takes a lot of people and dedication from everyone to really help send folks to the moon, but help elevate our district, right? So our success relies on the actions of every single staff in every single classroom and office and building in our district. So these are just individual actions, but it really takes a team effort, and that's something that we recognize and we are working on to educate and make sure we're all on board. Okay. So the next steps are, again, bringing forward our sustainability action plan. On the left-hand side, you can see some of the kind of sample measures that you would see within that plan. So it's broken down to address, again, specific emission sources. These are all from our energy facilities-related sectors. So also within that, there's a range of different impacts, timelines, and also costs. So the first one you could see would be an example of a feasibility study for, let's say, geothermal or ground source heat pumps. And That study would have an indirect impact, but if we were to actually implement something, of course, that would have much greater impact. And then you can see moving down that list, converting to LED lighting has a pretty good emissions reduction at 5 to 9% and a relative low cost. And then you can see converting, the last one, converting gas boilers to electric boilers. Again, just another example. That would be from that kind of menu of prioritized items. This has a high impact of 10+% reduction, but the timing is different because that would really depend on the end of the useful life of that item. We're not just going to go willy-nilly and start replacing boilers when we have perfectly good equipment that's still operating. So yeah, really looking at a wide array of impacts, costs, but also timeframes from within that sustainability action plan. And then some of the ongoing projects that we're working on as well. Again, continuing with those staff trainings. We're currently piloting a dashboard, a utility monitoring system, and that is just one example of a program or a project that we're working on that really ties in to those policies that we're looking at. So we're trying to get a look at what our utilities are, our bills associated with that, and then working closely with our HVAC specialists to dial in on that building management system so we can see real time what our energy use is and how we can make sure that the policies that we've set in place are really being put into action so we can optimize those reductions and savings. And then, again, we're always exploring funding options, looking into grants, looking into what opportunities are out there, because in order to do this work, it takes funding to do so. So just making sure we're keeping a keen eye into what's available. Okay, so just in closing, again, reminders of our key takeaways. We've got the state mandates, our Belief 7, and longstanding environmental dedication, the fiscal responsibility, and then, again, just looking at what programs, policies, and projects can we really implement to reduce our GHG emissions, but also on a bigger scale, reminding ourselves that we are really vulnerable to the escalating rates of utility costs. So how can we protect ourselves with fiscal resilience at the same time as reducing our environmental impact? And that's what I've got for you, Anna. Do you have anything?
Yeah, I have a couple of things to add. Thank you so much, Erica. That was a great summary, and so much work that Erica has put into this, so I'm very grateful for your investment. And many of you probably know this is a little bit of a reboot of our sustainability program from the early 2009 to 2017 era. And luckily we still have a lot of that documentation and information and base knowledge that we're leveraging to put forward into this new program. Things like getting the dashboard going again is going to be really critical, but we have a really high functioning mechanical and plumbing specialists that we can work with. We have a really good relationship with our HVAC automation agency, and so all of that is really coming together really well. The challenge that we're facing is what we learned from the Building Energy Advisory Commission is just people not understanding how our systems work, because our buildings don't work like a regular household thermostat might work. Also, the assumptions that things don't work, they never worked, they never will work. We really want to overcome that, because part of this is not only taking this opportunity to save energy, but making sure that we are doing everything that we can to create the best school and learning environment for our students, for our staff, And so that's a real high priority with this too. They really go hand in hand for me, and that's why it works so well that this is in the facilities department, because I'm managing both the maintenance as well as the facility staff and this program, and we really want to unify them together. I would just say the only other piece here is looking at that chart with all the different school sites. It is a little alarming, our two high schools. We also will be slicing and dicing this data through things like energy use index measures, figuring, because we do have some schools that are kind of outsized for how much they're using per student or per square foot. So we'll be looking into those types of things as well. And mostly we're just really looking forward to finalizing that sustainability action plan, bringing that forward to the board and receiving the feedback as to how to move those directions forward. And we're looking forward to any questions that you have and any comments you'd like to make about this. And I know we have some public participants that want to make some comments as well, so thank you. Thank you. Great summary and presentation. And I do know you're here. Before we ask you to come up, I'm going to open it up to, let's start with President Driller if we can. I just have this fear of forgetting. So I want her to go first, and then we can comment some
Make
questions.
me start first. I'll go
Yes.
quick. Great to see you all, and I've been wanting to see this. I'm so bummed I'm not there in person. But this is something that we have, we've actually looked forward to, so I'm glad it's here. Big shout out to the team that's, I'm sure in the audience, our Tahoe Youth, or our Youth Action team that, as we've all said, students are powerful voices, and I think this has been a really great team effort. Do want to mention that you guys did say a lot about the teamwork that you guys have. A lot of other entities are with us, which is such a, like, it's our community. But I'd like Erica pointing out some of these smaller things that we didn't even think of, like not opening the building up at 5 when no one gets there until 8. Some of these things that we just don't think about. But I think because of this baseline, we're going to have some things that are obvious, but also some things that we didn't know. And Anna saying that our school, and again, it's like, as Todd will tell you, our budget is not like any other budget. So our schools, and plus that we have 11 different ones, are all different. So you're not going to have a template that you can work with. So appreciate the amount of work that's gone into putting it together. And then Erica, just kind of, obviously your team is now just getting a brand new baseline. I think, Anna, you did mention we've had it in the past. We've had this concept. So the reboot is, it's awesome. So I look forward to seeing more of it, and I'm excited to hear what the kids have to say.
Thank you, President Driller. Do you have any comments?
I think I want to hear public comment first, if that's okay, and then be able to comment after that. One question, though, before maybe we do that. Awesome topic. We love it. And having the both of you here is just such an honor, because I know you live and breathe this topic and just sustainability in general. So we're so lucky as a school district to have you both in your team that's been working on this. I guess my question is, so now that we've recognized we have these challenges, have we thought about incentives? Because changing human behavior is often the hardest part. We've got data, we've got systems, we've got people to help us with sort of the technical part of it, but actually changing the behavior of someone, knowing, like, don't turn the thermostat on, don't leave it on, things like that. How do we do that, right? Is there a way to incentivize, to create maybe some healthy competition or something to see if we can get some of those numbers down just by changing the behaviors?
Thank you for that great question. And yeah, that is a challenge, behavior modification. We, of course, want to look for all carrots, and because we're not going to take sticks out for this measure, for this issue. In the previous iteration of this, we did some competitions. So we had some competitions between school sites, and for those, because, you can't really compete against who can save the most energy, because a large school site could reduce just the amount and overshadow a small school site. So we use the energy use index for that. We didn't really carry that forward very far, so I think there's some real opportunities for that. There's also some opportunities for just simple things like, how many work orders do you submit? And I know Pat's watching and he's cringing right now, but those are the things that help us
make corrections and reduce our energy usage. There's also, the students have come up with some great ideas for this that we would love to embrace. Those, of course, are more programs. So as Erica mentioned, I really strongly believe that in order to make any impact in this in greenhouse gas emissions, you need all three legs of this stool. So that's programs, policies, and projects. And I think we have some great opportunities here to do some programmatic work in competitions and incentivizing behavior changes, which I would really love to pursue.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, so our public comments are, it looks like Mia and Una together. Okay, coming up, ladies.
Hi, I'm Una and I'm a senior at Truckee High School. I'm also a co-president of the Citizens Climate Law Tahoe Youth Action Team, and as Erica and Anna mentioned, I was also a member of the Building Energy Advisory Committee. I just wanted to start by expressing my appreciation for the time, thought, and collaboration that went into creating these updated and proposed guidelines. Being a part of this committee, I've had the opportunity to be involved in these conversations.
Thank you, ladies. Before the next speaker, I just want to say thank you for acknowledging the district, but really, we just want to acknowledge student voice, because I think I want to say almost a full school year of having the Youth Action Committee. I'm sorry to botch the name, but yeah, to have you constantly come up here is what reignited the drive and the conversation to get back on track. So thank you and your peers and the adults that have supported you. Okay, the next person is Deidre Henderson. Did I say that correctly? Deirdre, thank you.
Can I just interrupt? I can't hear the mic at all.
It wasn't on, sorry.
Thanks.
So, good evening. I'm happy on this day in particular to be here to urge you to accept and proceed to implement the new building conservation guidelines and to accept and build upon the greenhouse gas inventory that staff has presented to you tonight. Many thanks to Anna and Erica. And to the many Tahoe Youth Action Team students who have really laid the groundwork for this and had a part in making these possible. I first spoke before the school board almost exactly 3 years ago now in support of the amazing Youth Action Team students who essentially asked you then to reduce by a lot the school district's use of the dirty energy, fossil fuels, that has been emitting heat-trapping pollution into the atmosphere, causing the planet to overheat and creating irreversible damage. Damage that we are experiencing now, and our children and grandchildren, your students, will suffer from even more if we fail to act. The students at that time asked you for a sustainability director, a greenhouse gas inventory, more energy conservation, and for a transition to safe and healthy clean energy, which, as it now turns out, is also cheaper and not subject to geopolitical risk. And they have continued to work hard on these goals. At that time, I told you I do climate work because I love my children and my grandchild, who is then in kindergarten at Truckee L. So here we are. My grandson is now in the spring of 3rd grade at Truckee L, and we have a sustainability director, a greenhouse gas inventory, new building conservation guidelines, and some electric school buses. That's real progress, and I thank you for it. But as an activist, I'm impatient because our atmosphere is continuing to heat up. Our weather is getting more extreme, our wildfire danger increasing, along with our insurance premiums, and our health endangered by the effects of these climate changes. So measuring things by my grandson's Truckee school life, my hope is that by the time he graduates from Truckee L, we will have a sustainability action plan in place, and that the building conservation guidelines will be implemented and cost savings from them beginning to be enjoyed. And by the time he graduates from middle school, I hope we'll be in the midst of implementing a transition to clean, safe, cheap, renewable energy to heat and cool our school buildings, and that we will increasingly be taking advantage of the more robust electric school buses that will have become available by then. And by the time he graduates from Truckee High School, I hope he'll be proud to have gone to a school in a system that vastly reduced its greenhouse gas pollution, is well on its way to achieving 100% clean, safe energy, and has modeled for its students commitment to the conservation and preservation values of the Truckee North Tahoe community. Happy Earth Day.
Okay, I don't see any further public comment slips. Is there anyone else? All right, I'm going to bring it back to the board. Thanks for redirecting me. Any comments?
I'll take the lead with this one since I was sort of the earlier board member kind of participating with our youth action team. And so I wrote down, Erica, your questions. Should we formalize sustainability goals? For me, the answer is yes. And my hope is that we can have those be achievable. I love having really lofty goals, but I also am a realist more so. And I think, for a district of our size, cost is definitely something that we still have to take into consideration with everything that we balance. But that being said, we have a very creative team, and I am totally optimistic that we will find some sustainability goals that will get us where we want to go. So that's a yes. Establish a legacy of environmental responsibility, of course. look where we live. I mean, how irresponsible of us not to take that into consideration. I mean, our community is wholly tied to our environment. So yes, that's very, very important. And then bolster our fiscal resilience from drastic increases in utility costs. That is so real. And it's across the board, not just with energy, but I think, Todd, you had said at one point too, like it's our snow removal costs, where some years is just so unpredictable that, we might spend way more than we thought. It's our, athletes getting to their, sports games and their practices where we're hiring charter buses. And it's so beyond just sort of the things that we're touching on right now and today. And I even look at, what are the things that we're kind of presenting with our schools right now as far as future careers, right? I often think, like when I was in school, it's sort of like, oh, you were, in the environmental group or you were out. And it's like, well, no, because like we're going to have people who are going to be attorneys, they're going to be engineers, they're going to be doctors, they're going to be, bus drivers, whatever it is, they're going into all these different fields. And yet all of those jobs collectively that we're trying to, expose our students to, kind of educate them about, like open their eyes to their future, still has some level of impact. And so I feel like, as a school district, there's something in our curriculum also that goes beyond just saying like you're in the Enviolution Club, you're part of the Tahoe Action Team, you're doing these things, right? Those are great. We need those. But we also need to sort of further embed in our education the importance of this beyond just sort of the more tangible things like how we, interact with our schools, how we're regulating, whether we're using all electric or, what the numbers are, the data is for just greenhouse gas emissions. So I think that's just more of a collective brainstorm of how do we kind of expand beyond the data to rethink maybe also how we're educating our students about, sort of their future choices, right? What do you want to do? How much impact can you control? How are we collectively thinking about those futures for our students? But thank you so much. That was a great presentation. I know lots of people are involved in this, and it's been a long time coming. So definitely appreciate all the work that you've done.
Trustee Mooney, do you have any comments?
Yes, thank you. Erica and Anna, thank you for that presentation. It was very informative and very helpful in seeing the direction that we're going. I love that this is something of a reset, because I remember the previous efforts, which I thought were successful, and I think that incentivizing is great, but Anna, I would get your emails asking us to unplug things before the break, and I did, and it became kind of a habit, something I hadn't thought of before. So I think it's just a matter of reminding people they want to do the right thing, they want to help the school district and the environment and so on, and I think just reminding people to do that might just be incentive enough, and I think you actually addressed that. But I'm glad to see this coming back around again. It did seem like it kind of died off there for a while. And I want to thank the students and the Youth Action Committee for being the impetus, I think, for pushing this along and keeping this alive here in the boardroom, as well as with the school district. So this collaboration between the school district and the youth group, I think, is very effective. And as Trustee Nishimori mentioned, it's, these are the kinds of skills that will take you into the future and help you be successful then as well. So thanks for all your work. Appreciate it. Thank you, Anna. Erica.
And I'll just close off by saying, I think it was you, Erica, that said that we can't fix what we don't know when it comes to work orders. Well, same thing with just educating even a 58-year-old, right? I went from 15 years ago when my daughter was in elementary school, she came home with a 3-minute timer for me to take a shower. And I was like, what in the what? No way, Mama needs a shower. To now, really realizing like, dang, I need to be quick because this is, and I think about other countries that walk miles to gather water. And so those kinds of things, I think we're just all evolving, and I'm just so proud of being part of a school district who prioritizes the environment and the earth. And you were talking about geeking out with Artemis. I mean, it's freaking goosebumps. It's a thing. Like, this is the earth, it's just, I don't know. Anyway, but that really stuck with me. So I think the more that we get this and the emails of, hey, turn off your computer and all those kinds of things, I'm just super proud and very grateful for your work. And again, for your work and your advocacy. So, anything else?
I just wanted to say a couple things. I'm just profoundly moved, I have to say, by the youth, the generation of young people in this world who haven't given up on us Gen Xers or boomers, or I can only really speak for myself, but we need help. We need help. And I think, it doesn't take a scientist to realize that, like, we were raised in a different world than you were lived in, than you were raised in. From everything from recycling to, my daughter catching me for accidentally putting something in the trash that should be recycled or something that should not be recycled that I'm putting in the recycler. Every day there needs to be constant reinforcements about don't give up, and I think the youth of this world are really going to sort of hopefully redeem and cause a reformative movement in the way in which we treat this planet. So I just want to praise you all for your effort and for continually coming to us and reminding us that we need to change our behavior. That's like the big one. It just is an undercurrent in everything that we in our generation need to embrace. From the buses to, composting, to understanding how to do everything right. And having reminders like this are very helpful, because I'll go home and put something like this on my fridge, and I'll have to really look at it every day to remind myself, oh yeah, okay, we're doing this differently now. And I guess, thank you so much for the data, because the baseline is so helpful, because we really haven't been totally understanding how much Truckee High is emitting things, I'm a social worker. I don't even know how to talk in this language. I'm just really trying to generalize my language to be able to have an educated conversation about this type of topic. But we do need the data, because the data helps us inform policy and helps us inform our decisions in order to actually move on things that we need to move on. And there is a sense of urgency. There is a profound sense of urgency, of which I really respect this district, and I really respect the leadership in this district for taking this information seriously, for SWEP, for Envirolution, for everything that everybody's doing to raise awareness. I'm super excited to go out to the Made in Tahoe Earth Day Trash and Show on Saturday. Anybody who doesn't know about it, you should definitely go check it out. It's profoundly moving. It's put on all by our high school students, where all the clothes that they're wearing are made out of recycled materials and things that we would have normally thrown away. And then there's a really powerful message that goes along with that. So please spread the word to head out to Made in Tahoe. Is that what it's called? Made in Tahoe? Yeah, Made in Tahoe.
Earth Day.
Earth Day festivals.
Earth Day Festival, okay.
And particularly the trash and show.
Yeah. Well, but a lot of other things are happening in the context of that day. Happy Earth Day to everyone. I feel very educated. I feel very humbled. I feel profoundly moved every time someone comes into this boardroom and lets us know how important it is that being a board member actually is. I get recruitment texts all the time of join your local school board, become active, it's bipartisan. And I text back, I'm already doing that, And I've been doing it for 16 years, and many of my fellow board members have been doing it for a very long time. This is a very hard job in this point in time. It definitely was very different in 2009, right?
It was.
It was a different conversation. It's not really what I thought I signed up for. However, I'm still incredibly honored to be in this seat, and every time we have presenters, especially from our youth, come to us, we drive home at night thinking about everything you say. We drive home at night and we lay awake in bed at night thinking about everything you say. So please, just persevere, keep your tenacity all across all domains and subjects, because we're a lot older than y'all. We're a lot older. I mean, and it's starting to really show. I don't know if you're noticing the gray hairs, but it's starting to really show. And I just have to say, I'm just profoundly moved, and I'm just so grateful that you haven't given up on us over the past 4, 6+ years. So thank you.
I just want to thank all of you for your feedback on this. It was very helpful. We will continue to move forward with the Sustainability Action Plan. We'll be bringing that forward to you sometime in the near future. And we look forward to receiving more feedback and working with our robust and enthusiastic community. Thank you, everybody who came out to support this effort.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay.
This person didn't put, but I suppose.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's see. So next item on our agenda is the athletics, and I believe we're doing public comment, correct?
Share one thing once.
Before or after?
Yeah, sure, I can share before.
You'll do it before? Okay, great. All right, so next on our agenda is athletics, and Superintendent Kramer, go ahead and get us started.
Sure. Well, we just appreciate our community's and continued engagement on this issue, and I wanted to share that we're having our first community athletics committee meeting next Monday. We had advertised that and asked for volunteers, and thankfully we have parents and staff from Lakeside and Truckee side, along with all of our Parks and Recs district and our facilities team. We'll talk about some perhaps opportunities with that. But our main focus is dealing with if we're moving to CIF with that mandate, then what do we do about soccer and boys tennis? So we'll be looking at facilities and fields, but we'll start that conversation. And then I also want to thank the community for your efforts with our legislators. Assemblywoman Hadwick's staff just reached out, and she's finalizing her requests to the state level budget committee about funding to help us address facility needs for winter. So we just appreciate Assemblywoman Heather Hadwick's work on this and the community working with her. We just appreciate all that advocacy for our students. And that's my update for tonight, and I'm looking forward to the public comment.
Okay, thank you for that. So I have 2 public comment. If there's someone else here that wants to do public comments, make sure you see the back table. You get to the back table to fill one of these. The first one is Mrs. Winter.
Good evening, Board.
Do you have 3 cell phones?
No, I just have a timer on, just so to make sure to respect your time. Can I restart? Okay, it hasn't started. Okay. Good evening, Board. I do have an update myself. 7 hours ago, CIF posted on Facebook that it formally approved TTUSD's full membership in the SAC Joaquin section starting fall 2028. However, this doesn't mean that the CDE has allowed us to stay in the NIAA until 2028. That's because the CDE has ordered us to start playing in CIF starting fall 2027. So all those students in 2027 will not even be playing with full benefits in CIF. They will have to play with independent status, which means that some sports like soccer won't get to compete in any state playoffs or championships. I hope you think about that on your drive home tonight. This is exactly what we have been warning about. This board taking significant action to legally join CIF when you all know this is harmful to our students. Let's talk about basic fairness and the hypocrisy of how this district helped set this CIF move in motion, but now acts as if they are the victim of a CDE mandate. Back in January and February, numerous parents filed individual discrimination complaints on behalf of their children who are current TTUSD student athletes, which include students with disabilities and other protected classes. These students and the rest of the approximately 800 enrolled student athletes are the true victims here. These student complaints allege that TTUSD's actions to leave NIAA and move to CIF cause them harm by threatening their safety, impairs their ability to meaningfully participate in athletics in school, and treats them unfairly compared to other California students in violation of state and federal non-discrimination laws. But TTUSD and CDE have both pushed those complaints away, not because they lack merit and not because the harms are not real, but because they say the complaints were not brought in the right way. TTUSD's response has been a boilerplate denial. The district says the move to CIF is already mandated by CDE, that TTUSD's first year playing in the CIF is planned for 2028, 2029, and that the complaints are not yet ripe because TTUSD is still in NIAA at present. Then it says only that it will work to make sure this transition is done in the best interest of all students. CDE's response is just as troubling. In the letter we recently received, CDE said it declines to directly intervene and then said that because the complaint was in effect a complaint against CDE, it was not within the scope of the uniform complaint procedure. This district says it's too early. CDE says it's the wrong agency. Both of you and CDE have created a procedural maze that blocks students from getting help from the very agencies whose primary responsibility is to protect students. These harms are not hypothetical. TTUSD itself argued in its October 29, 2025 request for reconsideration that moving to CIF would mean dangerous Donner Summit travel, more game cancellations, more scheduling problems, I have to finish this, more lost class time, less meaningful participation, and real safety harms. TTUSD said those harms were serious when it wanted CDE to reconsider. But now that current students are raising those exact same harms against TTUSD, you all say it's too early to address them? We also know this is just not a winter sports issue. A track meet was just canceled in April because of snow. And just this week, our home softball and baseball games had to be moved to Reno because of weather. That shows spring sports are affected too. Every CIF sport is exposed because every CIF game requires travel over Donner Summit. I know, but this is important, and you don't have any other people speaking except one. So
Okay, that is not the point.
Actually, then I'll hold, it's okay. I have other speakers that can finish.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, if you don't want to hear from me, then my husband can speak or somebody else can speak, and they can finish my speech.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Can you put your name down?
You don't need to put your name down.
We do have 30 minutes. The public does.
Okay, if you want your husband to finish with a fresh 3 minutes, please come up.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I just,
About the environmental lady going over her plan. Yeah.
right, and she's had time to go over as well. We're not going to discuss this. We're running a business meeting. Thank you.
So the district says it's too early. The CDE says it's the wrong agency. And both agencies have created a procedural maze that blocks students from getting help from the very agencies whose primary responsibility it is to protect them. These harms are not hypothetical. TTUSD itself argued in its October 29th request for reconsideration that the move to CIF would mean dangerous Donner Summit travel, more game cancellations, more scheduling problems, more lost class time, less meaningful participation, and real safety harms, all of the things that we know. TTUSD said those harms were serious when it wanted CDE to reconsider, but now that the current students are raising those exact same harms against TTUSD, you all say it's too early to address them. Those are written responses from TTUSD to individual complaints, discrimination complaints. This is part of the record. We also know this is not a winter sports issue. A track meet was canceled in April because of snow, and just this week, our home softball and baseball games had to be moved to Reno because of weather. And by the way, the softball game was moved to Worcester, I believe, which is part of NIAA. So what happens when we have a CIF team that's driven 3.5 hours over to a game here and we have to try to move a game? the Wooster field won't be available. And then we're asking them to go an hour further to Golden Eagle. So every CIF sport is exposed because every CIF game requires travel over Donner Summit, westbound for TTUSD teams and eastbound for visiting teams to the CIF Sac Joaquin section. I'm sure those students and parents are in for a shock when they find out they will now face the Donner Summit dangers traveling to play against Truckee and North Tahoe. If these harms were serious enough for TTUSD to raise when it wanted CDE to reconsider its CIF mandate, then they should have been addressed in the current students' individual complaints well before committing this district to CIF. Not to hide behind CDE when current students ask you to deal with the harms they face, all of which this district set in motion. We keep circling back to this question because there is no acceptable answer. How did one complaint from a former student become, with no standing, and it was not ripe, become enough to push this district towards the CIF, but dozens of current complaints from current students who are being harmed right now still is not enough to make this board stand up for their rights? Thank you.
Thank you. The next person is Jared.
Hello, Board. My name is Jared Johnson. I have a daughter in Truckee Elementary who's 10. And I just wanted to say that all of tonight's sustainability talk is going to be radically offset if we move to CIF with the increased driving. How many times? It would probably be 10 times the amount of carbon released by that. So how many students have come up to this podium and told you how radically their life will be negatively impacted by this? So many. I've heard so many. 20, 30? How many have said that they are for moving to the CIF? I haven't heard any. Did you listen to Ashley Gillis, the soccer coach, say that the soccer program is going to be devastated? She said it will be destroyed. Did you listen to this? How about the local emergency room doctor, John Anderson, who came up and told you the increased danger of driving over the pass? Do you guys acknowledge the increased danger of driving over the pass? Do you acknowledge it?
We're not allowed to engage.
You are.
No, we're not.
It says, when I read the bylaws, that you are supposed to, you can engage. So, and the negative, he also brought up the negative impact on our kids' mental health. And I know you heard all this. We just want, us parents and our kids want you to act and represent us and listen to us. It's like it goes in one ear, out the other. Kristen, I know you heard the students on March 18th. You heard Sky and Audrey talk to you. You said that their presentation moved you, and you directed them to go up, up, up with it, was your words. And what I'm saying is you're telling the students who have homework, who have sports, that they should go up, up, up with this. This is your job. This is why we elected you. This is your job to do this. And so then the last meeting, President Driller brought in Pat McKechnie to speak. And he led the Pledge of Allegiance, and then he proceeded to give a speech about how moving to the CIF and going over the past is going to provide kids with more character because of the adversity of this. And then Pat went on to proceed and slander the Winters, saying they had a problem with their character, and said you're going to sue our neighbors because you are going to have to play sports in California. And then President Driller said his speech was awesome. The only speech that anyone's ever given that she said was awesome. And I just think there's this major disconnect from the board on what you think us parents want. We do not want to move. We want you to stand up and represent our community and recognize that we want to stay in the NIAA. And the Winters have given you everything you need to fight this move. And nobody wants to sue you. The Winters don't want to sue you. Nobody wants to sue you. We just want you to stand up for our kids.
Thank you. Okay, before there's comment, are there any other, did you want to speak? Yeah, go ahead. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else after this speaker? Okay, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Sky Winter. My parents, they have been working on this like every night, and it's like, this is really emotional for like my whole family. My mom has been working on this for so long and like putting in her heart and effort. She's like giving up her work time to do this. She's giving you all of the evidence you need to stay in the NIAA. And like, as a student, I do not want to go over the past. And like, if something happens to me or any of my friends, like, I want you guys to know that this will be your fault. So, alumni have told you guys that like, when they were in the CIA, it was like, not good. And going over the past is very dangerous. As you can tell, we have had a storm, like, unexpectedly. We thought we were like going into summer. But no, we're just keep getting storms, and like, this is like so disappointing, is what I'm saying. So, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, so seeing no other public comment, we're going to open it up to the board.
I do want to speak tonight because I think we didn't say anything at the last meeting, in part because we didn't have our full board here. And I know it can be challenging to be a board member and speak sort of on the spot. But I think this is incredibly challenging, incredibly frustrating. And the comments that we're getting are not going on deaf ears. I think the challenge that we're faced with in part is that we're being told the only option we have is to litigate. And for me, I see litigation as oftentimes a closed door where the conversations are not the same because now it's only in sort of these legal terms. And what I came on this board to do, and what's important for me, is to keep conversation open and going. And so what does that look like as a board member, being able to help, right, to be the person, the representative, the additional voice in support of the student voices that have come forward, to the parent voices that have come forward, to our collective frustration. I think, Jared, in your written public comment, you kind of asked this question for this evening, and I know you've had other public comments too, but, why aren't we pushing back? We are pushing back, it's just not the litigation side, and I think what is it more can we do? So we opened up and had this opportunity to have this interaction with the community on every board meeting as a start. I sat in the meeting with the Winters and the district attorney, which is, from what I understand, a little bit unprecedented, that oftentimes those are just sort of separate. And I think that's just based on the level of trust that we have as a community to be able to have sort of unusual process and conversations. I read the SOS Save Our Sports presentation that we had emailed to us. I read those comments. And I think it's also, again, just a reflection of our collective frustration that we want to do more. And every night I do the same thing. I go home and I think about, like, what else could we be doing that isn't necessarily litigation, in part because for me, that shuts down conversation. I really liked the idea of being able to sort of package everything and be able to take that back to the state and say, like, this situation, isn't equitable to our students. It's not equitable across districts. It doesn't necessarily make sense to us why this is being handed to us and not other districts, why our students are having to come meeting after meeting, our parents, our families, in this level of frustration. Like, how do we get them to listen to us? We've tried asking for meetings. We've, talked to our attorneys. We've had them talk to other attorneys. We're doing everything we can, and it never seems like it feels like it's enough. But I know for me, I'm willing to put in whatever time it takes. I do actually leave my job to come here to do this. I give up a lot of things to be here to do this also because I think it's important for the community. And I want to be part of a solution, not considered a roadblock. I think that we've just got to find a way to work together, and that's my hope. I will volunteer whatever time it takes. So if there's more conversations that we can have and other things that we can strategize on, I'm wholly dedicated to that. I just feel like in some ways boxed in a little bit because of the legal aspect of this, and I'm not an attorney, but I am committed, and I don't think this switch benefits our sports. It creates significant challenges for everything that has been presented to us, from the mental health to the stress of, wondering if you're going to be able to play in the sports that you've been playing in since you were a kid, all of that. So for me, I just wanted to put that out there, that I'm still committed to helping in whatever capacity I can. And I want to be part of a solution.
I would like the students especially to know that that it's your voices that I don't know, I want to say weigh heavily on me the most, that that I listen to most carefully, and are the things that I think about the most literally on a daily basis, and I will be thinking about it on the way home today. Like Trustee Nishimori, I'd like to keep the lanes of communication open with all the parties that are involved, and to continue the conversation and the discussion and finding solutions in what we can do. I feel a little bit like our hands are tied. I know the Winters perhaps disagree with that, but I've listened carefully to their presentations. I've read the documents that they've given us very carefully, and annotated and highlighted and reread. And I'm well informed on where we are, what we have to do, and it's a difficult and challenging situation. None of us asked to be here. It was forced upon us by the NI2A and the California Department of Education, and we are doing everything that we can.
Can you explain the board why you're not willing to file a writ like the Winters suggest? But the community is just unaware. We don't know why. And we'd like to hear it from you, why you're unwilling to do that.
I mean, I think we've had the district attorney come to the meetings, in the past, and kind of talk about the questions that were answered. So I don't know if we just have to contemplate bringing our attorney back again to answer some of these questions, but I think, their job is to kind of look at this as what's been handed to us, which is a discrimination issue, from my understanding, and I think that just kind of puts it in a different box. And so even though there's been discussion, between the Winters and the district attorney, I think there's just, this is such a narrow focused level of law that, from what I understand, it's sort of like the state's considering it with this very narrow lens. And all the things that we've talked about and have been raised in public comment don't factor into that, which is incredibly frustrating. Because common sense says, yes, like, you're impacting, most of our athlete population with this change, and yet the other unintended consequences of that are not being considered as part of this. And so it kind of goes back to this question of, why isn't the district suing the state? And for me, and all the information that I've heard, read, understood, it's such a narrow focused discrimination issue that there's, like, the state's just not willing to kind of at this point look at it from a different lens. And so I think, that's just, again, one of the challenges. And not to say that we can't keep asking these questions and keep, bringing up the points that we've heard. I think there's value to that. I just think that we're sort of just stuck in this world right now where the state's doing this one-size-fits-all approach, and that's sort of the narrow lens that they're working on, and then giving us these mandates.
Respect dozens of discrimination complaints for other individuals that you have rejected. So you have an avenue to actually pursue.
I mean,
I'm so sorry, you guys, I can't hear what's being asked.
Yeah, I think you'd have
If
to go.
we're having a conversation with the public, I just can't hear it.
Yeah, can you repeat it? Like maybe at the mic? Yeah.
And the narrow transgender.
So, I think it, is it on? Yeah. So you referenced the complaint and the narrow discrimination issue, but in my comments, I talked about dozens of complaints that have actually just been denied summarily here against TTUSD. And so the same thing with CDE, if one complaint, they were required to look at it and investigate, you have real harm, actual harm, because you've joined now legally the CIF. You are in CIF as of today, is my understanding of what that means, membership. And so we don't really understand what your application, what that fully means. It just means that you have somehow legally bound yourself to CIF, and that's what we're afraid of. Like, we moved too fast here without consideration for the individual complaints that were filed back in January. So around the same time, you knew you were filing that application for CIF. So I think that you have avenues with these complaints, with the ones that CDE keeps kicking back, but we're just going to keep pushing forward, because what else can we do? You're foreclosing it here, they're foreclosing it there. Where are we supposed to go? Literally, these are the two agencies that are supposed to help them. Where's Sky supposed to go? I know you don't want this, but you can't say your hands are tied. Your hands are not tied. You can file another request for reconsideration. Force the CDE's hand. They cannot just ignore you. Take the steps. There's procedural processes in place. And yes, I disagree with the process that your attorney has advised you on, because there's other options. You have to think differently, outside the box. It doesn't require litigation.
I just want to acknowledge this is a little bit of a different process, right? That we're kind of going outside of our standard protocol, and thank you for at least allowing for some of this conversation to happen. But I do think that it's still worth asking the questions. You're raising these questions. We keep, talking to our attorneys. We can keep asking the questions. We can keep asking, CDE the same questions. Like, that to me isn't
Get a new attorney.
saying our hands are tied, right? We're still asking the questions of help us understand, why the answers we've been given are what they are versus, other issues that have been raised. Like, I feel like that's very fair for us to be able to keep asking those questions.
Yeah, and
So-
over a month ago, Danielle, you did bring up, maybe a month and a half.
Okay, we can't keep doing this. I'm so sorry. If we're going to do this, it either has to be recorded so that we can all hear if we're going to do the interaction. Thank you.
Okay, well, President Driller, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to finish the superintendent's report. We have a long agenda and staff that's here that also needs to report. So unless you have a final comment, we're going to move on to Mrs. Kramer's report.
No, thank you. I appreciate Danielle taking the lead on this. Thank you.
Okay.
I did want to offer some clarification about the CIF application. We cannot be members in both organizations at the same time. So that membership would begin in the beginning of the 2028, 2029 school year. We are still full members in NI2A this year, next year, and the year after. And there is plenty of time. CIF is well aware of our situation. Both CIF and NIAA are aware of the situation. And that, I think, concludes, and we'll switch to my...
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Clerk Hennessy. Well, even with our current weather, thank goodness, our last day of school is remaining Thursday, June 11th. We announced that before spring break, and we're able to stick with that. So we had 3 official snow days this year, and I want to give a shout out again to our facilities team, our transportation team, our maintenance team. Those days the snow came in, they had everything ready to go. It was just our larger road system, so we so appreciate it, and we thank Mother Nature that our big storms kept coming in during our breaks and on the weekends, so we got very lucky this year. We referenced this earlier, and it's exciting to know that thanks to our Chief Business Officer, Mr. Rivera, and Keygent, our bond advisor, that we were able to sell our bonds and get these amazing rates. And something we want to point out is our Moody's credit rating. That's due to prudent fiscal management, the experienced governance team, our experienced CBO, the fact I've been in the district for 10 years and over 30 years in public education, our amazing community and tax base earned that very high rate. And I want to compliment the governance team. We are not at any risk right now legally, and the difficult situation we're in and the path that you're taking is helping us maintain that good fiscal rating. And as a result, our local taxpayers are going to see that decrease on those bond taxes each year. So congratulations to the team and to the governance team for that decision to sell and for these great results and savings for our taxpayers. And thanks for being so fiscally responsible in your decisions. That's awesome. So a couple strategic plan updates. As you know, our goal is to really empower our staff, our students, all of our employees so they can achieve their potential. And a tool that we all use every day that's foundational for this is technology. And we've been talking about this all school year, and we've done some visits to schools. We've had some public comment on this and talked about it at the Parent Superintendent Advisory Committee. Trustee Hennessy went out and we heard from the kids about AI and so on. And our Chief Tech Officer, Mr. Hilton, presented back in January, on January 21st, about our digital diet as a district. And I just wanted to make sure our community knows that at ttusd.org/screen time, every month we will post the amount of screen time by average for the whole district and by school. And then you could also see the digital tools the students are using, the top 5. Because we're aware that as a nation, everyone, the community is asking great questions. Are these digital tools helping our kids? Mm-hmm. Is there too much screen time? What do we want to do educationally? And so I just want to make you aware that we are monitoring this thanks to our Securely software. And right now, the average is about 1 hour and 20 minutes over the course of a school day. And we're excited that when you see what's being used, these are the items that really engage students in learning, and they're part of our adopted curriculum. So we'll keep having the conversation about positive impact. We really appreciate our talented educators who engage with the students every day and monitor the impact on them and make great instructional decisions based on what their students need with technology, pencil, paper, and all the tools. And May is coming very soon. And starting on May 4th, our testing window opens for our state assessments. It's really a significant moment in the school year for all of us. It's a time to celebrate and measure our students' growth and all the learning they've done this year and over their course of their learning time year over year. And it's really an important indicator of student progress. And the data we receive collectively and as a school site helps us ensure that every child is meeting the high standards we set. So it's very valuable. And then families receive the individual reports as well, and they can see year over year and make sure that their students making the progress that they're hoping for. So I just want to thank our families for supporting your students, our teachers and our administrators as we go into this time. They really worked hard with our students to get them ready. to demonstrate these standards. So I hope everyone enters this testing period with a spirit of encouragement and know that our students are well prepared and they're going to do awesome, and this is a great chance to show what you know. And then an update on a specific action in academic achievement. The reason why our kids can do so well on these state assessments are our amazing educators and support staff and the entire team. And one of our priorities is making sure that they continue to grow and develop professionally. And so we're taking a look at our evaluation tool. We're starting with our certificated team. And I'm excited to report that TTEA, our teachers union, and now the district, they formed a committee. There's 6 members from the district, principals that actively evaluate the staff, and then 6 teachers from TTEA working with Mr. Shepard and Assistant Superintendent Sean Roderick. And so far, they're just exploring. So they had some homework. They're looking at some of the different tools out there and looking at our updated California teaching standards. And they're going to meet on May 7th. And we're really just taking it slow and exploring to make sure that our process is supporting our staff and providing valuable feedback. So we're excited to get this process going, but it will take time. There's a lot to think about and consider. And then in our support systems area, one of our priorities is making sure that we're taking care of our infrastructure and our facilities. And you heard tonight how hard that team works for sustainability, and that our facilities are our greatest greenhouse gas emitter. And so the team has done an evaluation to look at deferred maintenance items, and our CBO does a great job of making sure we have funds available and additional funds to take care of our buildings. So these are the current plans for the summer. Now, we're also really watching the fuel costs in asphalt, of course, being a petroleum product. So they're looking at alternatives and monitoring this. We may have to change the scope of work, but this is the current plan. And I just really appreciate our team. They keep such a close eye on our buildings to make sure we're taking good care of them so they don't emit as much, and we're doing the best as we can to take care of everything. And that concludes my update tonight. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Does the team have any questions? President Driller, do you have any questions for Superintendent Kramer?
No, thank you.
Okay, so we're rounding off to the end of our agenda here. Let's move on to donation.
And for this item, we'll turn to our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Mrs. Sean Roderick.
Thank you. Good evening, Superintendent Kramer, Clerk Hennessy, members of the board, and community members. For your consideration this evening, I'm happy to present a generous anonymous donation of $1,000 to support our Tahoe Lab outdoor education program. The Tahoe Lab is dedicated to fostering environmental stewardship through immersive hands-on learning by integrating outdoor experiences into our academic curriculum. This program promotes whole student development from transitional kindergarten through 12th grade. Through this initiative, we are actively cultivating strong community partnerships to broaden the scope of outdoor educational opportunities available to all students. It is the staff's recommendation that the Board of Trustees accepts this generous donation in support of the Tahoe Lab outdoor education program.
Thank you. With much appreciation, I'm going to ask for a motion to accept this donation.
I'll make a motion to accept this donation for the Tahoe program.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second, with thanks to the anonymous donor. Very generous.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. President Driller's 3 hours ahead of us, so it's 10:30 at her house. Okay, the next one is a grant.
Mrs. Roderick.
Thank you. The Optimus International of Truckee Donner is generously providing a $1,500 grant to support the Las Mariposas Club at Truckee Elementary School. Truckee Elementary hosts the Las Mariposas Club as a program for 5th grade girls. Originally established years ago at North Tahoe Middle School, The club's founders expanded it to various schools across the Truckee and North Tahoe area. The club aims to empower students by fostering strong personal traits such as confidence and positive self-talk, and encouraging them to pursue higher education. A significant club component will include college tours and activities that promote all over well-being. This grant will cover the cost of field trips and activities. As a staff's recommendation, the Board of Trustees accepts this generous grant from Ms. Optimist International of Truckee Donner.
Okay, thank you. And again, with much appreciation, is there a motion to accept this grant?
I'll move to accept the donation from the Seroptimists.
Sir, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Perfect. Consent agenda, is there any items that you would?
No items
Nope.
from staff.
How about the board? Anything you want pulled? Nope. Okay, great. Then we will, can I get a motion to approve this consent agenda as presented to us?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you. And last, well, almost second to last, educational services.
Mrs. Roderick?
Thank you. Thank you, and good evening, Superintendent Kramer, Clerk Hennessy, members of the board, and community. Tonight, I would also like to welcome Stephanie Aurora, Director of Fund Development at the Boys and Girls Club of North Lake Tahoe. Tonight, we are pleased to present for your consideration a memorandum of understanding establishing a partnership between the Boys and Girls Club of North Lake Tahoe and the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District for a joint partnership of the state-funded Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, also referred to as the ELOP grant. This strategic partnership leverages the resources and expertise of both organizations to expand and enhance learning opportunities for our students beyond the traditional school day and year. This MOU aims to formalize the framework under which T2SD and the Boys and Girls Club will work together to deliver engaging, supportive, and enriching after-school and summer programs through the ELOP grant. Through our comprehensive plan, the Boys and Girls Club will operate programs at the following locations: Keens Beach Clubhouse, Truckee Elementary School, and Alder Creek Middle School. This partnership represents a significant investment in our students' education, providing valuable extended learning experiences that foster their academic achievement, social competence, and emotional well-being. We believe this partnership with Boys and Girls Club will provide high-quality and impactful expanded learning opportunities for T2SD students. It is the staff's recommendation the Board of Trustees approves this MOU, and at this time, I would like to invite Stephanie to say a few words about our partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I want to just say thank you for what you do day to day. I haven't been to a board meeting in a while, and I just really appreciate how you handle your jobs and the thoughtfulness that you put into all of our students' needs. So thank you, personally. The Boys and Girls Club has been partners with the school district for years. I've been with the club for 20 years now, and the school district has been an important partner of ours. And we really feel like your partnership working with the school district is really important to what we do. We like to say when, school is out, club is in. We high five, take kids over morning, after school, all year long. We're just incredibly grateful for the partnership and always here to support the school district, to support kids in the area, and do whatever we can to make sure that they all succeed. So thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you. Okay, so I think I speak for all of us that we are also very grateful for the partnership that you help us, wrap around our kids as a whole. So thank you for that partnership. Could we get a motion to approve this MOU, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the MOU with the Boys and Girls Club of North Lake Tahoe for school year 26-27, and echo what Clerk Hennessy just said. It's an amazing partnership.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Great, and one more MOU, please. Oh, two more, sorry.
Mrs. Roderick.
Thank you. Tonight, I'm pleased to present for your consideration a memorandum of understanding establishing a partnership between the Boys and Girls Club of North Lake Tahoe and the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District for a joint partnership in the state-funded after-school education safety ACES program. This partnership leverages the resources and expertise of both organizations to enhance learning opportunities beyond our traditional school day. Through our comprehensive ACES plan, the Boys and Girls Club will operate programs at the following location: Keens Beach Clubhouse. This partnership is a significant investment in our students' education, providing that well-fostered academic achievement and their social competence. It is staff's recommendation the Board of Trustees approves this memorandum of understanding with the Boys and Girls Club of North Lake Tahoe.
Thank you. Okay. So could we get a motion to approve this MOU, please?
I'll make a motion to approve this amazing MOU once again with the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah. Second, anyone?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Great, thank you. Again, thank you for staying late. And we have one more MOU, please.
Mrs. Roderick.
Thank you. I am pleased to present a memorandum of understanding for your consideration establishing a partnership between the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District and AIM High. This summer program partnership enhances learning opportunities for our students beyond the traditional school year and formalizes the framework under which TTUSD and AIM High will collaborate to deliver engaging, supportive, and enriching programs for our rising 6th through 9th graders. AIM High's mission is to help these students build an academic confidence, discover a love of learning, and develop the skills they need to thrive in high school and life. Through this partnership, AIM High will provide a free program for all participating students, while TTUSD will provide space at Keens Beach Elementary School for up to 100 students during the summer. Additionally, the district will provide transportation to and from the site for all enrolled students with a monetary contribution of $35,000 and support in recruiting both students and educators before summer 2026. It is the staff's recommendation the Board of Trustees approves this memorandum of understanding between TTUSD and AIM High.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve this MOU?
Move to approve.
Sorry, just before we do that, I just wanted to just point out that we continually say how our community is so supportive of everything that we do, and it's from the start to the bottom to the top. So by having all these entities support us, it's like it's amazing. So I just wanted to, AIM High and Boys and Girls Club both today got the highlight, but there's a lot. But how exciting! It's pretty amazing.
Thank you, Dee Dee. With that, I will move to approve the MOU between TTUSD and AIM High for summer 2026.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Double seconds.
I got it.
Double dip.
Either
All
one.
right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Okay, so last item is comments of the board members. Do you want to start? Do you have any comments? Nope. How about you, President Driller? Do you have any comments to wrap up?
No, just thank you for doing all this. And I do want to quickly shout out to Danielle, echoing what Stephanie just said. I really appreciate that you've sort of taken I wouldn't say the heat, but the lead on how this is coming down with our athletics, just what's happening with that. And I really appreciate your professionalism and also just your calm demeanor. I think we're all echoing what you're saying and extremely frustrated with what we've been given. And it's just really hard to hear the comments when they're always sort of just putting you down and sort of stating a narrative that isn't ours. But I appreciate you saying what you've done, and I also appreciate our entire board for being so amazingly supportive of of what we're doing and understanding that our kids definitely are the reason why we're doing this. Like, this is not an easy place to be. And I just respect everybody's, and our executive team and Superintendent Kramer.
Thank you. How about you, Trustee Mooney? Any comments?
I just, this has been a challenging period of being on the school board, and I know that, like all the rest of you, I have read hundreds of pages of documents in regards to just the athletics issue, that I've spent hours and hours in conversation and discussion with multiple people in this board and the community, and listened to, read multitudes of letters and listened to possibly hundreds of people that have come to the board meeting. And we have made an incredible investment in understanding this issue and trying to maneuver and through it in the best way possible. And I want to express my gratitude to all of you here for speaking so intelligently and calmly in regards to this issue when we have opportunities to speak here from the dais. You are a group of calm and level-headed people who think objectively and speak objectively, and I appreciate that, and I take my lead from you. So thank you very much. And
Thank you. How about you?
In case anyone didn't know, my life's purpose is to be in the middle of all things messy. So I just want to put that on the table, that I've never not lived in a situation where there's been just sort of messiness happening in the world. And I'm always willing to get into the middle of whatever needs to be in the middle of. So yeah, there can be challenges, but I think, people are opening themselves up when they come to these meetings, and any public meeting really, because they want to be heard. And I really just appreciate when people do come, because if we just had a room full of nothing, like, what's the point? So I just have so much respect for people who can take the time and come and make the comments, and whether in person or writing or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So I just want to address the process, because tonight was a very different process, and this is the school district's business meeting. This is what we do. There are many items on the agenda, and I hate having to cut people off. Try to do it with some grace, but at the end of the day, I'm still cutting people off and trying to go through this process. And I just wanted to touch on the fact that the reason that tonight we could have back and forth a little bit is because we made a decision to put it on the agenda as an item so that we could talk a little bit, but that's not the norm. So I just want to touch on the process. Besides that, I want to share that I had the privilege to visit Sierra High School last week. Right before spring, break. And it's just such an amazing and special school. They all have their own culture and their own thing that makes them special, but I just love being in there and just seeing the focus of the students, the learning that goes on there, because it looks different than a mainstream high school. So I just wanted to say that. And then also that I was part of the group that visited the high schools, all three of them, and heard from the students about AI, what they know about it, what they think about it, what their hopes are with it from us, and for their future. So that was a really great, valuable opportunity for student voice that will no doubt shape our steps moving forward. And lastly, following that, we had a debriefing meeting with the AI committee about what we heard, and also we are starting to talk to people and bounce names around to eventually bring someone to our district to talk to parents and students. And so it's very, very exciting, and I wanted to end on that positive note for my comments, because onward and Upward. Did you have your hand raised? I heard a ding.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say too that as much as we, and not that there's any, putting it down, but I also want to say that our school district has done some amazing things in the last year. Like we've got some amazing scores and some, definitely some accolades of greatness that we don't want that to get washed away. So ending on a positive, as Chris was doing, that our school district is despite what we're going through right now here on the board level, our district has just risen. So anyway, I'm going to say peace out.
Okay. Well, with that, we'll adjourn and thank you to the Executive Cabinet. It's 8 o'clock. Thank you.